Before we install the K24 into the NSX for the final time, this car desperately needs one thing, and that is paint. There's no way I'm gonna install all of those brand new parts, soon to be fully rebuilt engine, a soon to be fully rebuilt transmission, into a crusty, unmatching shell. Now, before we spray out some paint, we have a ton of work to do. But by the end of this video, this car should be looking something like this. Now, as you can see, we have a ton of work to get done before we bring this thing to the paint booth. This entire engine bay needs to be disassembled, cleaned, sanded, and prepped for paint. Same concept with the trunk, but the most amount of work is going to come from the wheel wells. These things are caked full of oil and dirt and grease and road grime, and it is going to take a while to get that ready for paint. I'm not going to be painting the whole entire shell, as from here forward is mint, but for some reason when they painted this car, they didn't paint from here back, which I guess is understandable because it is a ton of work. Let's start off with getting everything disassembled. All of the wiring needs to come out. We have fuel lines, motor mounts, brake lines, and wiring in the trunk as well. You know, it always confuses me and cracks me up when people don't take the time to remove stuff like this. You can see where their masking line was. This took 10 seconds to remove. From the pillar all the way back is now completely stripped down. Every clip, bolt, fastener, wire, everything is removed. I do want to get the glass pulled out. I was going to attempt it myself, but I'll probably break it. So I'm going to wait for someone to come get her done for me. So that leaves us with getting this thing cleaned up and ready for paint. I'm going to start with all this grime in here first. I think some degreaser or maybe wax and grease remover and a scraper is going to be my best bet to get all that off. 4 hours later, our wheel wells are fully cleaned up. That took forever. Now we need to go through and scuff every single square millimeter of this thing from right here all the way to the back. And I'm gonna be using these red scuff pads. This is perfect for engine bays. We are finally done with all of the prep work and we are ready to head on out to the paint booth. So I have it on my nice little cart down there. Last time I used the cart, it kind of disintegrated, so I put some new wheels on it, a little bit beefier of wheels. It's about a quarter-mile cruise to the paint booth, and we are gonna get this thing painted, and it's gonna look absolutely beautiful. All right, wish us luck. Car is connected to the Tacoma, and we're gonna tow this thing down to the booth. Also, I hope this is legal. We're not going on any main roads, so it should be fine, but let's hope we don't get stopped. Car is in the booth. This should be a pretty quick and easy mask job. It will be interesting painting it because I do plan on painting the underside as well. So I'll be laying around on the ground trying to get this thing painted up. Let's get it fully masked and get to painting. So the entire front end of the car is fully masked off. We are ready to start spraying out some paint. So first we need to clean it with wax and grease remover. We do need some sealer in this black area here. Otherwise the white color, the white base coat is going to take forever to cover that black. So it'll get white sealer there. And then we start laying down the base coat, probably 3 coats of base, 2 or 3 coats of pearl. I need to do a spray out card, see exactly how much pearl we need. And then from there, we clear coat. Let's get this thing cleaned up and start spraying out our sealer. Alrighty guys, we finally have all of the white, the base coat laid down. And man, oh man, this thing is sure looking white. I didn't tell you guys this, but I actually ran out of paint. It's the next day. I bought a quart initially, and that wasn't quite enough base coat to cover. I almost cleared it, but I'm sure glad I waited till today to get this thing finished up properly. Now we're gonna let this dry, and we move on to the mid coat, which is the pearl. Pearl is sprayed on. It's pretty cold in the booth, so I'm gonna let it sit for at least 2 hours before we clear it. I would say it's probably 55 degrees in here right now. Pretty chilly, so gotta let all these solvents evaporate out of the base and the pearl before we lock it in with some clear. Usually I would wait about 30 minutes, but like I said, man, it's so cold in here. The last thing I want to deal with right now is solvent pop, which happens if your clear traps the solvents in from the base coat. A couple hours later, we finally got this base coat to dry, and this thing is ready for its final paint, the clear coat. Man, oh man, does it feel good to be done painting, and this thing turned out perfect. It looks so good. Let's kill the lights, grab a sun gun, and see how that pearl laid out. All right, this is the true test. Man, oh man. This is my first tri-coat ever sprayed in my life. Now granted, it is not the exterior, so it doesn't matter as much, but I still wanted it as perfect as possible. It turned out so good. Car is gonna stay in the booth overnight. We'll come back tomorrow, drag it back to the shop, and see how good this thing truly turned out. Based off what I'm seeing right now, this might be my best paint job yet. Gonna wrap it up here. Hope you boys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys back at the shop tomorrow.